Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be looking at a question that I have encountered many times, and perhaps you have too, or perhaps you've even asked this question. And that question is, are we in the last 7 years? Has that last 7 of Daniel's 77s begun? Well, the last 7 of Daniel's 77 or 7s remains. It is yet to be fulfilled. A 7 is a singular 7-year period of time made up of 7 consecutive years, thus the name 7. How many days are in a biblical year? I'm going to give you the answer, but you will be able to find it if you study on your own. And this is just a clue. If you study Noah, study about Noah and the ark, and you'll see how long a biblical year is. But the answer is, a biblical year is made up of 360 days. This means 1 7, meaning a 7-year period of time, will consist of 2,520 days. And this is how we come to this conclusion. We have 360 days in a biblical year, and we multiply that times 7 years, and we get 2,520 days. So the last 7 is made up of 2,520 days. Included in the last 7, or the last 2,520 days before Yahshua returns, there's a period of time made up of 2,300 evenings and mornings. We get this from a vision that was given to Daniel. The 2,300 evenings and mornings are literal earth days. They do not stand for years or millennia. They stand for actual days, literal earth days. Genesis defines one earth day as an evening and a morning. For example, Genesis 1:5 says, "And there was evening and there was morning, the first day." Genesis 1:8, "And there was evening and there was morning, the second day." In Genesis 1:13, "And there was evening and there was morning, the third day," and so on. For this reason, we know that Daniel's vision of 2,300 evenings and mornings will be for 2,300 literal earth days. The 2,520 days of the last 7 and the 2,300 evenings and mornings from Daniel's vision overlap in this manner. So we have the last 7 years, and then within that time, ending on the same day, we have 2,300 days, or mornings and evenings. The 2,300 days is just shy of being a complete 7 years. It's about 220 days short of being a complete 7-year period. The 2,300 day period includes the Great Falling Away, and it's also known as the rebellion or the apostasy. This time period will include events such as the abolishing of the daily sacrifice and the setting up of the abomination of desolation. Let's read part of Daniel's vision. Daniel chapter 8 verses 9 through 14, we see the little horn, and in parentheses, that is my. If you see anything in parentheses, that is going to be my words that I've included. So here's the passage. It, the little horn, grew until it reached the host of heavens, and it threw some of the starry host down to the earth and trampled on them. And just so you know, the host is referring to the saints. It set itself up to be as great as the prince of the host, Yahshua, again my words. It took away the daily sacrifice from him, and the place of his sanctuary was brought low. Because of the rebellion, the host of the saints and the daily sacrifice were given over to it. It, meaning the Antichrist, prospered in everything it did, and the truth was thrown to the ground. Then I heard a holy one speaking, and another holy one said to him, "How long will it take for the vision to be fulfilled? The vision concerning the daily sacrifice, the rebellion that causes desolation, and the surrender of the sanctuary and of the host that will be trampled underfoot. He said to me, "It will take 2,300 evenings and mornings. Then the sanctuary will be reconsecrated." The portion of Daniel's vision lasting 2,300 mornings and evenings includes daily sacrifice, rebellion that causes desolation, surrender of the sanctuary, host being trampled underfoot. And remember, the host means the saints being trampled underfoot or handed over to the Antichrist. So again, this is how we see the time frame overlap. We see 2,520 days, which makes up the 7-year period. And in that 220 days into that time period, we see Daniel's vision begin, which includes 2,300 mornings and evenings, or literal days. Again, it's 220 days in before the 2,300 day vision begins. If at least one of the events in Daniel's vision is not happening by day 220 of any 7-year covenant being confirmed, then that covenant is not the covenant prophesied in Daniel, and the last 7 years has not begun. Here's another look at the events that must take place within the last 2,300 evenings and mornings before Yeshua's return. The daily sacrifice must be abolished, meaning it also has to be started. The rebellion that causes desolation. There's a rebellion that causes the desolation to take place, or the abomination of desolation to be set up, which is allowed by God. The surrender of the sanctuary, and the host or the saints being trampled underfoot. I'm going to stop here, and we will pick up in my next video, part 2, and we'll learn a little bit more about when these specific events take place within the last 2,300 days before Yeshua returns. Stay with me for part 2.